Hello, hello, JMC family, JMC Village. Hope everyone's doing well. Josh Kent coming at you with another segment of Speaking with the Village. I'm excited to come with one of our very own foster parents. Started with us, one of the very first that we licensed, and it's been an awesome journey. It's been great to have him. So we'll get Mr. Riley on the screen. Riley, how you doing?
Good, good. How's it going, everyone? Thank you for having me on.
Oh yeah, we just like to bring all sorts of views and viewpoints of the foster care world. And I brought Riley on today because he's about we're about the same age, so we're young guys in this game, and there's a lot of kind of older people that tend to do it after they have kids, and so I really wanted to see kind of what was the perspective of a young adult that just started right off the bat when he's had a stable job in place. So tell us a little bit about kind of your why in fostering. What drew you in?
Yeah, well, I've worked in the public school system for like 7, 8 years now. So naturally, I've seen, our students that are in foster care and kind of gotten to know some of them and their stories. And then took a step further by um, going into working as a caretaker, youth caretaker at a group home. And that just kind of opened up my eyes to what a lot of these kids are dealing with. And just wanted to do something more, be just kind of that driving force for, some of these kids and to show them that somebody out there cares about them. So.
Well, why and one of those things, someone's like, well, why start so young? Why not have your own kids? What motivated you to just take on the call and go for it?
Well, even I mean, in the school district, I started at 18, and so I kind of have been used to taking on those more just higher roles and more of like a big brother approach with a lot of the students that I've worked with over the years, because I'm closer in age to them than most teachers and other administrators in the building. So for me, I feel like being younger has its advantages. Being able to relate more with this generation, understanding more of the challenges that this generation faces that older generations maybe didn't have to worry about. I mean, technology being one of them, and phones and just social media and all that stuff that goes into play in school, and it is a big part of our youth lives today. So.
Yeah, our generation kind of saw the adoption of the internet into the common space, and especially as and internet safety was I didn't really think, I mean, it was taught to us a little bit, but now I think that's subjects in schools and stuff like that. So it is kind of crazy, and I bet you it's great. And I know Riley has worked with a lot of teens, and he does work with our teens at JMC. So I know he likes to be that that guiding older role model, and he does a great job. But I think that's one of the great advantages. What about some of the any challenges? Any challenges you've seen as kind of a younger
Oh yeah.
adult?
Well, I mean, you have to definitely set those boundaries with depending on what age you're going for. I mean, you probably wouldn't have as much as a challenge with maybe younger, and maybe you will, but just kind of set those boundaries on, yeah, maybe I'm only 10, 15 years older than you, but I'm still the adult, still the parent, and this relationship with the child through fostering. And I think sometimes too, just like dealing with agencies, I think a lot of people think that they can kind of get one over on you, whether it be dealing with DCYF or just in general. I mean, going to the hospital and having to care for your foster child and being that person. And sometimes people might look kind of at it as, oh, are you the guy? I mean, there's been several times where I've had to take one of my foster kids to the hospital for various things. And, they kind of think, oh, are you the guardian? Or, so just kind of, it surprises some people. So you have to deal with that. But it's nothing major. So it's no different than if you were taking care of a younger sibling. So that's kind of how I view it.
Yeah, that's definitely, I think, that misconception, like, who are you to this person? They don't see you as the adult, or don't see, or the parent, because, it'd be kind of unrealistic for you to be their parent, you know, because you're a little closer than age. What happened? Are there any other, you know, misconceptions that you see that, you know, just maybe foster parents in general or foster children get that you would want to kind of dispel or tell the people that might be watching, hey, this isn't really how it is as a parent or as the children?
Yeah, I think for the most part, I know there's, you know, people think that some people may think that like foster children are going to be a handful or be any more like work than dealing with your own children or with children that have both their parents and are not in the system. And I think that's not true. I mean, I've seen and met foster kids that function and operate just like any other kid their age, and yeah, they might have trauma or challenges to deal with, but I think a lot of children do, regardless on, you know, what their home life situation looks like. And yeah, I just think that also that, you know, the age thing, if you're a stable adult and you are in a good place, I think it's why not get that experience, you know, on what it's like dealing with teenagers or young, you know, middle school age or even younger elementary school age children. So
yeah, I mean, you know, even personally, as I've known Riley and as we've seen him through JMC, like it hasn't taken much. I mean, you've been with us almost a year now, but I've seen a lot of growth from that year, and I know you've felt a lot of, you know, and all positive. There's never anything I was worried about Riley going into the licensing process and all that, but it's just great to see, you know, a parent grow along with them. So I think that's an awesome advantage, and, you know, just something that, you know, it's a healthy wake up. You know, people shouldn't just be set in their ways, shouldn't just be continuing to do what they think is the right thing, because for a lot of these kids it is. You kind of got to shake it up how you think it might roll, or what might be effective for these kiddos. So, well, how about a positive? What's one of the things you've enjoyed the most about being a foster parent?
I'm just being able to share my world, you know, being that I'm younger, I'm active. I like to go places, like to travel, like to just get in the car and go for a drive, go check out new restaurants, go, you know, to the movies. And I think just having, like I said, that younger brother type, older, younger brother type relationship with the foster kids is great. And I think it's positive because it just helps. To me, it's like you're teaching someone just valuable skills, being able to share things that I've been through, my life experiences with them, and just to help them kind of get through what they're going through a little better. I think that's one of the positives is, and like I said, being closer in age, it's just so much easier, I think, to relate to a middle schooler today, being that, you know, that was me, you know, 15 years ago, you know, 10, 15 years ago. So
yeah, it seems like only yesterday sometimes in our mind, but then it's like, wow, yeah, 10, 15 years, things have changed a lot. But you know, in reality, kids don't change, and the way teens operate and how they, you know, it's all kind of been the same, same as it goes, you know. And
things come back into style and go out of style, and, you know, but a lot of the behaviors are probably the same as they were, you know, back in different generations.
Right. They just got more access now to the internet and the whole wide world. So, you know, we just got to kind of be diligent to make sure that we're that kind of barrier, that protection, their village of support around them, so that they're not, you know, going into situations that could hurt them in the long run, you know, or put them in an unsafe situation.
Absolutely.
Well, how, you know, if you're talking to another young adult who's like, wow, you know, I thought about it, I just want to wait till I'm older or wait till I have another kid. Is there anything you would want to say to kind of like encourage them, or, you know, a trick or tip or something that you think, you know, would kind of get them over that hump?
I would say, yeah, if you have the time and you have the space, and yeah, I think waiting on your own children. I mean, there's so many kids out there that need help. So I mean, it's just like people go out and adopt dogs and animals or foster animals, same thing, you know, in a sense where there's so many people out there and children in need. Why not be that adult, you know? Obviously, you know, every child is one caring adult away from a success story. So And hey, I mean, it kind of gives you an insight on what costs are going to be like, caring for, a child, whether that's, like I said, an elementary school kid or a growing, you know, adolescent teen that eats a lot of food. You kind of get that sense of, oh, this is what it's going to be like, when I have children of my own, and kind of a wake up call in a sense for how much groceries cost for feeding more than yourself. So
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. I know you're a good cook and you like to cook, so
yeah,
I know that the boys out there eat a whole lot. So,
yeah.
well, that's good. And then just lastly, before we go, like, what have you found just to be success when dealing with some tough behavior, some tough, I know you've had your share of kiddos that challenge you or really. We've had conversations about just like what's the best route. Like, what would you tell to another parent who's like, man, I'm really struggling with this teen boy, or
I
you
would
have boys, so yeah.
say take a second to stop and think about when you were a teenager, whether that have been 10, 15 years ago or 20, 30 years ago, and just try to really look at things through their lens, because like we said, this is a total different day and age with just the way schools operate, the way friendships and relationships are built with their peers, and the pressure, peer pressure and all that stuff is a total different avenue, I think, than what it used to be, especially with social media. Because I feel like different generations, you go to school and you go home, and that's kind of it until the next school day. These kids today are dealing with things, especially if they're involved with social media. It follows them home. It never goes away. It's 24-hour access, like we said, access to the internet, access to social media, and constantly talking to friends and drama and all that. So I think a lot of the behavior stuff, you just got to really stop and think about what you may have done when you were a teenager, and how maybe what worked for you when you were that age, whether it been um, conversations with school, whether it was you got in trouble at school and you had that one staff member that they got through to you, whether it been the assistant principal, counselors, dean of students, just trying to think outside of the box, and how to steer conversations that may be negative from the start, but turn that into a positive conversation and positive growth. So I think, yeah, just kind of putting yourself in their shoes in a sense.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because we don't know exactly what they're feeling, but we can have those same. We've had feelings, similar to that, where we can relate. Like you said, it could be at a bigger scale and a bigger, kind of blown up because of the current culture or things going on. But that's awesome. I love that. Just take a minute, and just identify, hey, this is just another teen. They're teens are teens. That doesn't stop. The sassiness, the side eyes, and all that. That comes with foster care or not.
Take a second and pause and just think, and gather all your thoughts before jumping right into discipline, or and just thinking like, what can you do to really positively affect and maybe try to bring change about in their life and the way that they think. Help them, give them tools to process information better on their part. So
yeah, we've all, like you said, there's been all those different adults in our lives that have given us different. We take from different tools, different things that they've used or taught us. We have a whole tool belt. They don't necessarily have that luxury, or they haven't had as many adults. So really looking into your village, looking into theirs, and who's surrounding them to just kind of be a support, be another tool that they can look to as inspiration or as support. So, well, awesome. Thanks, Riley. Is there anything you want to sign off? Let the people of JMC Village, or people checking us out.
I mean, I think it's growing up with parents that did foster care and having foster kids in my home. I think it's something that, I wish every American that was able to could do it, because there's so many kids in need, and that just with the lack of foster parents, there's kids that can't be near their schools or have to travel so far to go to school just because there's no placements where they are. kind of originally from, and just the variety of parents and cultures and stuff that could come about from more people being involved would be a great thing. So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Riley. And I'll be checking in with you soon. So have a good rest of your day. And thanks for joining us.
Awesome. Thanks.
Awesome. Well, that was Riley, and he had a lot of great things to say. And we're very appreciative of our foster parents who are here and doing the work. So if you're ever curious about how to start the foster care process or just curious about JMC, hit us up right there on our website, or you can email me at jkent@jmckids.com. Give us a call on our office line here, right there at the bottom. So we'd love to hear from you, hear how you think you can be a part of a child's life and be that positive role model and that piece of support. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Feel free to comment below. We'll get back to you if you're curious about anything we said here today, or just curious about JMC or the fostering journey. So thanks, Riley, for joining us, and thanks, JMC Village,